Welcome to Align by Design. I'm Flavie, and today's episode is going to transform how you think about success, purpose, and the relationship between your soul calling and tangible results. So many of us have created what looks like success on the outside, the business, the career, the achievements, but still feels that whisper that there's something more, that deeper calling that says there's a more aligned way to live and work, one with more joy, more happiness, more freedom, and yes, more abundance. Today, I'm joined by Erin Newman, a gifted coach and healer who specializes in what she calls belief shifting magic. I love this. Erin combines shamanic healing, hypnosis, and EFT tapping to help established entrepreneurs release the limiting beliefs that keeps them from their next level of soul-aligned success. What's fascinating about Erin's journey is that she almost burned her own six-figure business to the ground when she realized her external markers of success were not making her happy. She understands firsthand what it means to hear the soul calling for something deeper and more authentic. And today, we're diving into how we can release those persistent limiting beliefs that you can't truly do what you love and make money, that you need to hustle harder for what you want, and that aligned success might be possible for others, but not for you. So get ready to explore how working on the subconscious and soul level can create rapid shifts in your life and business, because you really can follow your soul and create financial success you desire. Let's go. So, Erin, welcome to Align by Design. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today because you're my first guest for this new season. And
Oh,
yeah, I would love, to dive right in. So, we have been discussing, and I see that so many people feel like, that pull towards something more aligned with their soul, but they hesitate to follow it, especially when it comes, to your career, your business. It's like, I don't know if I can make it, if I can do it, and if I can live from it. Most of the time, these are the kind of limiting beliefs that I'm hearing also from my own client. And I wanted to know, with your experience and everything you've been through, what are the most common limiting beliefs you see that stop people from just following their soul's calling while still creating financial success?
hmm yeah. I think a lot of them get disguised as sort of other things, as rational and logical fears.
Mhm.
Um, but it's really a belief that the universe doesn't have our backs, that the universe isn't going to support us, right? That we are not enough in some way to really go out there and do what we want to do. And I also want to say that I think it's much easier to follow your soul if you can allow your nervous system to feel safe around what it is that you're attempting to do. I think it's really hard to leap without some sort of safety net. If you have no savings, if you have um, no financial support of any kind, it's hard to follow your soul. It's hard to take that big leap. And so I kind of actually always encourage people to take a halfway jump. What feels easy right now, what feels fun right now, what feels safe right now. In terms of following your soul, because a lot of times we can get some of what they want right now without having to, quit the day job and move to a mountaintop in Tibet. I bet there's something in the middle that we can step into, and that's going to allow your nervous system to feel a lot safer.
Mm.
And what I mean by that, the nervous system piece is it's that squinchy feeling we get, that like kind of clenched feeling, that sort of anxious feeling that we get when we think about stepping into our dreams, when we think about following our soul, because it probably will feel scary. So, I think we're going to talk today about some of those tools and some of those tricks, well, tips, really, not really tricks, that can really help you to feel safe in following your soul.
Exactly. And I love what you share about the fact that the universe has your back because so many times it's like, I don't know if I can make it because I don't rely on something bigger. Well, I call it also the universe, but maybe for some it's going to be God or whatever you want to
Right.
call it, you know?
Right.
And it's so true that most of the time, and I think this is what most of entrepreneurs, when they were in a corporate job, are doing. It's like, okay, first I'm gonna step out a bit, like 80%, 50% before jumping. It's rare to say, I quit my job if you don't have, as you said, the safety net or at least the inner security. And if you just take the Maslow pyramid, this is the base,
Right.
basics just. And
Right.
I love how it just makes so much sense because you need first to make sure, as you said, that your nervous system is also, in security. It's okay. We can take that leap forward. And I love what you shared about the fears because for me, fears is often related to your expansion. When you are on your way to do something you have never done, for sure it's scary. You never have done this, but it means that you are growing, you're evolving, you're expanding, your comfort zone in a way. And this is just connecting to something I've been thinking a lot about because we constantly told change our mindset. And
Mhm.
it can be also, okay, you need to have positive thoughts, which is sometimes can be easy to say, but not that easy to do. And for so many of us, that approach has not been created to, create the shift we're looking for. And we hear so much about change your mindset, especially, when you are an entrepreneur, you need to shift your mindset from a corporate employee to an entrepreneur. You need to shift your mindset from a 5-figure coach to a 6-figure coach to a 7-figure coach. But why isn't that enough? What makes working at the soul and subconscious level more powerful? I would love to have your vision on this.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all experienced this for ourselves, right? We can go around and even write affirmations and speak them out loud and tell ourselves we're a 6-figure coach, tell ourselves we're a 7-figure coach, or we're a successful entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And yet, if your subconscious doesn't believe it, if your body doesn't believe it, it's not going to happen for you, because then every action that you take is one from a mindset or a belief system that says it's not going to work anyway. Why even bother? No one's even looking at it. If
Mm.
we're taking action from that set of beliefs, then nothing we do is going to matter. But
Mm.
when we take action from, hey, everything I do is working, everything I'm putting out there is attracting my most ideal clients, everything I'm sharing with the world is creating the success that I want to see in just the right ways, right? And when we truly believe that and not just pay lip service to it, when we believe it on the subconscious, the somatic level, then we do get to go out there and create that. And again, we've all seen this in our own lives, right? Like, I mean, we can be telling ourselves, you know,
A lot of
out
things.
loud, yeah, one thing, but then if you're really inside, you're like, no, that's actually not going to work. Then it doesn't work.
Yeah. And we can feel it really, and I love to invite often, my clients, okay, how does it feel in your body? Do you feel a
Mhm.
contraction or do you feel an expansion? Because I had this case with one of my clients. I want to have the famous 10K a month. And did you ever earn 10K? No. How does that sound for you? Scary. So how can you attract it if you're contracting, thinking that you can't get it? So I love what you share because so many times we just think with our head, but we don't embody it. And for me, that's where sometimes the subconscious level or even, yes, the embodiment it's all about it because we are all about energy and vibration. So if your vibration is, I don't believe in it, you will not be able to attract it because the messages you're just going to send out is, I'm scared or I don't trust it. And do you have maybe, an example or a story with someone who just decided to align, with their soul calling and you saw real result in their life or business. And what just changed for them? Because I'm sure it's not just to say, okay, I have the business that I want, I have the lineup that I want, and I'm completely free. I'm sure that there are so many other golden nuggets that you can share about it.
Yeah. And I love that you said, that fear arises when we're on the path of expansion. And I think that's so true. Because if I always use the example, like if we were just staying in corporate in, let's say, like a corporate accounting job, and we're entering numbers into the spreadsheet all day, we're probably not going to be experiencing a lot of fear, right? Like you're in your comfort zone. You've been doing this for 20 years. Like, you know what this looks like, right? But as you step into following your soul, it is going to have a lot of fear.
Mm.
And so to answer your question, yeah, one of my clients that popped up as you asked that was my client Tashana, who already had a really, really successful marketing business. She was a marketing agency. She still is. She still has that part of her business, but she was really looking into sort of more individual coaching kind of work, sort of like the work that we do. And she was really scared about it. Like, what if I put this out there and people don't want it and they think it's weird and they think it's out there and they think it's not what I'm supposed to be doing? And so we had to really unravel those beliefs and not just with Tashana, but with all clients, it always goes back to the belief system that we created in childhood, the belief system that kept us safe in childhood, the belief system that kept us part of our family of origin. Whoever you were raised with, we created a belief system that supposedly in our minds would keep us safe within that family, right? And that might have been, and usually is, one that is very much like our parents, belief systems.
Yes.
And so the unraveling is really looking at what parts of that belief system are not helpful to me anymore. They were helpful. Thank you. Thank you, little me, for creating them, but they're not helpful anymore. And so what do I want to let go of now? And again, when we do that work on a subconscious level, it's really powerful. And I always feel like all the different modalities that I use are really allowing people to drop below that conscious state of awareness, the state of awareness that you and I are both in right now, right? We're talking, we're having a conversation. Theoretically, our thoughts are following a logical order. But when you drop into that sort of deeper trance state, that deeper allowing space, it's not linear. It's not logical. Your memories kind of glitch around like a music video or something. And you don't know why certain things are associated with the belief system that you have. But when you can drop into that and heal those on that level, it gets to be easier, right? Then the actions that you take, the things that you do get to come from, again, that place of like, yeah, what I'm doing is working. Yeah, what I'm doing is creating the results. And I don't have to know exactly like, the 10-step business plan. I'm just telling myself I'm in total alignment here and it's going to create the results I want no matter what.
It's all about trusting the process. And I love to share that you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know the exact map, because if you just focus on the map, you are missing all the experience happening all around. And I love what you shared about that most of our, let's say, wants are coming from our childhood. And I'm doing exactly the same, that sometimes it's okay, what is not serving you? You don't need it anymore. And when you see the reaction, and I'm sure it's the same for you, of your client, it's like so freeing. And it's like, oh my God, I feel even lighter, because it's like I was holding a weight which was not mine, or it's not just needed anymore. So I can get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's such a great conversation happening right now in the world about these belief systems not even being just from our family of origin too, but like they're from society, they're from past lives, they're from ancestral programs, right? I always talk about how my grandmother went through the Great Depression in the United States, and like even till the day she died, she would like hoard the bags that come. I don't know if they do this in France, they probably don't, but they're these plastic bags that go over the bread.
Yes.
Yeah. And so she would keep those for no reason, right? Like who needs an old bread bag? But she would keep them. And I mean, she had this whole like closet where she kept all this old stuff, right? And so that gets passed down whether I want it to or not. I mean, I don't hoard bread bags, but like that mentality gets passed down. And now what science is starting to show us is, yeah, it gets passed down in your genes too. Epigenetics, it's this whole system
Yeah.
of gene expression and what, what we brought from our ancestors. And so I think it's a really cool exploration that's happening right now between science and the metaphysical that's really reminding us, what the ancients have always known, which is we are not just these little individual bits of consciousness walking around. Like we are connected to so much more that is not just ours. So when you said like they realize this isn't mine to hold, sometimes
It's even,
okay,
yeah,
it's
not
even
just our
older.
parents. It can be so much older. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's really cool. That feels to me, that always feels like such deep work because we're not healing it just for ourselves. We're healing it
No,
for,
you can heal all your lineage sometime. And this is where it
yeah,
works. Because what I love also to explore is sometimes you are the game changer in your family. And that's why you're the one doing the work. So you're going to heal your ancestor, but you're going to prevent the other children that are going to come to your family too, or not doing the same mistakes, or acting differently, thinking differently. So when you are the game changer, it's kind of responsibility, but it's such a beautiful responsibility in a way. And I love what you shared because I read one time that we as women, we can hold the cells over 400 years from our ancestor in our uterus. So
wow,
if anything happened, a loss of a child, or when in the old time, yeah, they had all the ways, to do abortion and so on. These can still be, in your own cell. So can you just imagine having 400 years of cells in your body? So this is how sometimes you think about things which are not just yours.
but you're not
This is
just
how
yours.
we pass through. And it's like you shared. Sometimes you see people, and it happened to me, or like scared of water, and you say, where this is coming from? And when you look back to the past life, say, oh, you died maybe not in the Titanic, but you died in the sea, and you
Right.
were maybe a sailor, and you faint and you die. And there are so many things that are, as you said, sometimes on the metaphysic and other level, other consciousness, but it asking you a certain awareness to say, okay, I'm ready to really go and explore it. And I'm sure that everything that we have been sharing is maybe in a way now resonating, with the audience who say, oh my God, yes, just have a look to what your grandparents were doing, what your parents were saying. When we say work hard, that way you can earn more money. Is it really true? Is it really, what is today all about? And and it's so beautiful, when finally you just get the consciousness and say, okay, I'm ready just to work on this because I've seen so many beautiful change with my client when they are just ready for me to explore this. And yeah, so I'm sure that so many people can just resonate and think what my grandparents were thinking, what my parents were saying about, money, especially with money, because many people, will have some thoughts about money which are not there. But it's coming from the society. It's coming from the conditioning. You have been said so many things at school by the society, by your parents, your grandparents, and after it's become like your norm. And it required for me some kind of courage, sometimes to say, no, I feel that there's something else. I fear that there's something different. And for me, it happened, when I was in my 9 to 5 job and suddenly I was, no, that's not the life that I want. But having the courage to say, okay, I'm going to launch my business. It was quite something, but there was a time I was not able, to stop that inner knowing and that deep calling. And what is maybe one simple thing that for the people who are listening to us today, they could do if they want to start just connecting with that inner wisdom, inner knowing, and say, okay, maybe I need to explore a bit more what these two beautiful ladies are sharing today.
I mean, to me, anything that gets you back in your body is a really powerful way to start exploring that inner wisdom, and that could be taking a walk in nature. That could be doing some tapping. If people know tapping, it could be a meditation. It could be shaking. Really, shaking is like a great somatic tool where you just shake all your body parts until it feels like you're lighter, and you'll kind of know. Dance, any sort of dance that you can do, even if it's by yourself in a bedroom, really anything that puts you back in your body is going to be helpful in starting to explore those messages, starting to explore what's here for you. And I always encourage people to really write down the beliefs that they're working with. I have this exercise that I do where I ask people what their income goal is, and write that at the top of your piece of paper, and then write down all the reasons why you think you don't deserve to be there right now. And usually people will tell me, I do deserve it.
Yeah.
And you absolutely do. Yeah. But what is your subconscious telling you, and it's usually things like, well, I don't work hard enough, and I haven't done enough work, and I haven't posted enough on social media, and I haven't been consistent, I haven't blah, blah, blah. Like, we all have our own stuff, right? And just really looking at those and starting to see them as just thoughts. They don't have to hold anything more than just being a thought. And as you bring them into conscious awareness, it already starts to heal them. It already starts to shift the energy around them and allow you to see again that this is just a thought, and I can choose a different one. I really believe that whatever we believe is what creates our reality, And so it's like we have this whole smorgasbord that we can choose from in terms of beliefs, So why don't we go choose ones that we like better? Why don't we choose something more fun? Yes. If we're gonna choose our own beliefs anyway, and everybody does, right? Like that's, you can just look at our world. Like everyone is choosing to believe different things all the time, not just now, but all the time. So
it makes me laugh because we in France are known for our strikes, our revolution, and sometimes, I just observe my thoughts. And I had one of my friends told me, Flavie, just try not to complain for a day. And I was, oh, so I thought that it's not easy, but it's like, in our French society, we're used to complain about everything. And so sometimes it's getting the consciousness of, okay, what am I thinking now? What am I feeling? Why am I complaining about this? And I remember when I came back from the US like 3 weeks ago, I arrived and it was like a big mess to go and take the train. And people were just, oh, that's annoying. There are so many people complaining. And I was, okay, I know I'm back to France, It was so, so funny. And as we shared, sometimes it's something so ingrained since generation, society, so many things. And it's not always easy to recognize, that this old way is not working anymore and it's not serving you. And you are not yet embodying the new way. And for me, it's what is maybe one advice that you could give for someone feeling, uncomfortable between those two periods when you say, okay, I'm ready to change, but I'm really contracting because I'm also afraid of maybe the beauty, the magic, the light that's gonna come after when I'm just gonna fully discover who I am with no limitation, with no society, norms or whatsoever. So when you want to step into something new and more aligned with who you truly are and what you truly want to do, what is something that maybe could help the people who are listening to us to say, okay, let's go and do it smoothly. I know that you shared a bit about EFT, well, the tapping, the dance and so on, but for really that moment where you feel uncomfortable, what else could you just advise us?
Well, what I would share is something that we talked about earlier, which is if you choose the path of expansion, it's always going to feel like that.
Yeah.
You're always going to be in this space of like, okay, this is amazing. Life is amazing right now. And what else is there for me?
Mm.
You know,
I love it. What else is there for me? That's so powerful.
yeah. I mean, we're choosing more. And so there will always be this space of like, okay, this is what I'm choosing, but I'm not there yet. I haven't embodied that yet. Um, and I guess the tip that I would give you is to act from the energy of it already being here, meaning you are already her, you are already them, you are already the person who is, right? You step into that identity already. And this doesn't mean that you have to change who you are right now, right? Because sometimes people think like, oh, well, that means I would need to wear fancy clothes and I have to, you know, I don't know, get rid of my old tennis shoes. I don't know, whatever we all think, right? Like a lot of times for women, it's like this sort
Yeah,
of,
I need to embody a new identity, and this new
yes, and
identity
change
is
my
born.
hair and change all
Yeah.
these things. And I really want to encourage you that you don't have to do those things. You get to be you just as you are. But acting from that energy means you just sit there for a moment or two and feel into what it would feel like as if it were already here. Whatever feelings you think it's going to evoke in you, bring them in your body now. Like just sit there for a few minutes until you can feel that feeling of like, maybe it's feeling proud of yourself or good enough or joy or bliss, whatever you think it's going to bring you. Feel that now. And then act from that energy, not from the energy of, I wish I was there. It
Yes.
will be there one day. One day I will have
Dream. Like
this.
it's like remaining in a dream, and the dream might not become a reality.
Right. And so to me, a lot of times when you say things like, okay, well, you got to act from that energy or be there